Look at that mess. I was moving a box to my shop. I didn't even know it had artifacts and rocks in it. And the bottom started to come out. That's where I got stopped at. And I got it dropped down before it completely crashed and burned. Stuff I haven't seen in years. Look at that pretty thing, pink. Look at that Adena. Look at that. An Adena. That's what that is, a creek tumbled. You know, that's what we're going to talk about. D.W. Verts, Hickbilly Outdoors. We're going to talk about that Adena and all things archaeologically. Yeah. Be right back. So I'm out here working on another video. And I really need to apologize. First off, for two things. Again, I said I wasn't going to do very many videos for a while because of deer season. Our first firearm deer season's over. Tomorrow and Sunday will be the second youth firearm season. Then next week will be our first, or our antlerless deer season. It never ends. So I was in the woods a while ago cutting firewood, and knowing that I'm behind on my videos, I don't know what to do about it. I'm not going to get in the creeks and in the fields and stuff while the deer hunters are out there. I don't want to make enemies of them, and they don't need me messing with them anyway. And I may be one of them sometime yet, so the whole YouTube thing gets screwed up if you don't keep doing videos regular, and it just ain't happening. It's 55, 58 degrees. I need to be fishing. I've been cutting wood. How bad's that? So the other thing I want to apologize for is this right here. I haven't had a chance to research this. I finally dawned on me yesterday this is happening. My voice isn't syncing with the sound on this camera. I don't know why. Anybody got any ideas on that? I haven't researched it yet. It just dawned on me a day or two ago that it's not just an anomaly. It happens every time. This is not my GoPro. This is a Canon Vixia camcorder. It's a new one, and I've done just a few videos on it. I realized my voice isn't syncing, so I'm going to stay off camera as much as possible so you can't see it happening. Apologize for that. So this video is not about that. This video is not about this. Next video I'm going to do, my effigy thing, we're going to talk about archaeologists, archaeology, and arrowheads. So there's going to be a point to this, I hope. Be right back. I got to go do something. This point that I just dug out of that pile is an Adena. That's the type of it. It's been typed that way, and there's actually a whole culture called the Adena culture. And I know that from years of hunting points and learning some of them. I don't know them as well as I used to before I had a stroke, but that's an Adena. Heavily creek tumbled. Beautiful. At one time it was almost completely see-through, but anyway, that's an Adena. Here's the point behind that point, what I'm going to try to get at. Archaeologists have spent buku hours, countless amounts of time researching ancient cultures, and they name these points. They have reasons for naming them. Points are named just like plants and animals and stars. The guy that finds them, or comets, whatever, the guy that finds it gets to name it. Sometimes they're named after something in the area. Sometimes they're named after the guy that found them, a Smith Point, for instance. There's thousands of names of these points, and that's cool. It also helps us reference a timeline of when these cultures existed, when these points were made. That's a lot of hours in carbon dating and rethinking. It's a constant change in people's minds about these things. Of course, some archaeologists never change their minds. That's kind of what I'm going to talk about. I've met and personally spoken with 4 archaeologists in my arrowhead hunting career. 3 of them were pure Richards. They'd been Karens if they'd had boobs. You couldn't change their mind with a crowbar and a machine gun. They were horrible. And they don't like me. They don't like us. They don't like people that aren't like them doing it specifically, tagging, dating, everything. I mean, behemoth mad not liking me. Try to talk to them, try to ask questions, and they don't think we'd be picking up artifacts in a field or in a creek because we're hurting the timeline, destroying history. You pick an arrowhead up out of the creek like that in Sedina. I remember when I found that when I was trapping in the wintertime, and that thing's beat all to heck. Where would it be? That's been 15 years ago. Where would it be today if I hadn't picked it up? What does that do to help history or whatever? I don't know. I've had some people comment on this channel that we're not showing enough respect for Indians. Well, for one thing, an Indian did make that point. That's pre-Indian, okay? This is Native American, Paleo-Indian, before modern tribe Indians. I've talked about that. I've had people kind of get on to me. We need to leave them lay because the spirits and it's sacrilege, whatever. These people didn't hardly have religion. So why I really appreciate archaeologists and all the work they put into, so we know of the woodland period and the historical period and all the way back to pre-paleo, and that's where they fight amongst themselves, that pre-paleo stuff. They don't like that pre-paleo talk. They think Folsoms and Clovises are it, some of them. And then I met one once, and it was really cool because I was napping arrowheads. I was making arrowheads at a Cherokee Indian festival. We got invited to show our trapping stuff, and I take my napping stuff with me. I was the only guy there in an Indian place that knew anything about napping rock. And I have no Indian in me at all. It's kind of funny. This guy was Joe Cool. He was all about it. He liked the fact that I took an interest in ancient man and that I dug. That one guy, the first guy I ever, man, he was so bad. He was obnoxious, snotty, Richard Cranium. Imagine the look on his face when I told him I'd dig him up too out of the ground. He told me I ought to be arrested, I'd be against the law, blah, blah, blah. Maybe he's right. This guy I met though at that Cherokee Nations deal was just cool. He taught me more in a half hour, 45 minutes than anybody had ever taught me before that, ever. Altogether, possibly. He taught me some stuff about mounds and about fake mounds and what to look for. He told me about some digs that were currently underway or getting ready to be underway, about placement of man. And I mean, I know where they live, but he was talking about huge tribes and later tribes of people. And it just fascinated. He was a cool dude, and he did not mind at all. I thought about it many times if I was to come across something as historical, which I never have. I don't have the kind of places that's going to be something that's going to change the record books. It takes a lot of the right territory for enough people who lived over the years to find the Clovis and the Folsoms, and Missouri's not known for that anyway. If it ever happens though, if I was to find something that was groundbreaking, historical, rewrite the books, what would I do? Obviously I should turn over to the authorities, but then I have a landowner who's going to not want the government on his property, and I don't think he can keep them off if it was a big enough fine. Probably never going to happen. Again, don't get on to me for saying bad things about the archaeologists. 3 of them I met were not very friendly. One wouldn't talk to me at all, but he was in an arrowhead show. Actually, 2 of the first 3 was at arrowhead shows. That's where they was. Why were they at arrowhead shows? I think one of them may have been getting paid to document points. I don't know. Strange. Why these guys got to be jerks? They do not, they think and I found right here in this pasture, I found a tool last year. I found a little tool over here last year in my property, and they say me picking up screws up the historical timeline. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, we never went to the moon either, you know. Anyway, that's my kind of rant. You need to understand the archaeologists, the amount of time they put in and how much respect I have, digging in that ground inches at a time, documenting the layers of strata, and figuring out that people lived in this area, made this kind of point and this culture, and it's all cool. And that rooster's loud, isn't he? What a good rooster. Anyway, that's all I got. Trying to make some content. when I'm not arrowhead hunting. And I know talking's boring, but let me know what y'all think. Let me know about this camera, this Canon Vixia. Why my voice isn't... I just haven't had time to research it. I say it just dawned on me how bad it is. Sorry about that. Effigy videos coming up. It's been over a month ago. We talked about doing this, and I'm working on it right now. It's stupid I haven't done it, but I've been really busy. I went fishing a few times, which I got to be pretty busy if I'm going fishing. So that's all I got. God bless you guys. Let me know what you think. We'll talk at you later. Shut up, Rooster.